Greetings, and happy Friday the 13th. Today is a special... Wait, what? We're not uploading on Friday the 13th. We're uploading on Saturday the 4th. Well, then why am I wearing this? Okay. Hi, I'm Dave, founder of Halloween Year Round, and a very happy Saturday the 14th. No, not the weird parody movie Saturday the 14th, but it's in the spirit of what we're talking about today. Today, I'm reviewing the new horror slasher comedy Freaky from writer-director Christopher Landon, same guy behind Happy Death Day, as well as a screenwriter on several of the Paranormal Activity movies, including the fourth one, which starred Kathryn Newton, who stars in this. So I'm a huge fan of slashers, and I love ones that try new things, and I feel like Landon did this before with Happy Death Day. He took the sort of time loop trope that, that was made famous by Groundhog Day and said, let's do a slasher movie like that. And then this one, he said, hey, let's take that, body switch trope, like from Freaky Friday, and let's make a slasher out of it. And it works. For the most part, it works. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I really liked about it, a couple things I thought could be better. Not going to get into spoilers because I want you guys to go see it. It's playing in theaters right now. If you can't go to one safely, I don't recommend that you do. It is also coming to video on demand in a couple weeks. So at that time, everyone will have a chance to see it. But let's get started. So it starts off like any other typical slash. You have a group of teenagers in a big house doing sinful things, which get them killed by a masked killer who just smashes through doors like they're made of tissue paper. This movie's clearly made by horror fans because there's just so many little nods and references, both like direct overt references and kind of just spiritual vibe references. There's a little bit of Friday the 13th in there's a little bit of Halloween, a little bit of Scream, there's even a little bit of Carrie and Prom Night 2 thrown in there for good mix. So firstly, let's talk about what worked and what I really liked about it. Kathryn Newton and Vince Vaughn are amazing in this for totally different reasons. They're both sort of kind of playing against their type. Well, I know Vince Vaughn's more so known for comedy, but he's having to basically play a teenage girl. And his comedic timing, his sort of over-the-top delivery and performance really works here. I'm used to seeing him be very, very sarcastic, and it almost felt like it could have been one of his roles in any of his other movies, but what separated it was his heart and the heart of the movie. And that's something that I thought Landon did a really good job with in Happy Death Day. It's a fun slasher full of amazing kills, which I'll get to. But just that I liked that it could very easily have just been that sort of cheesy, fun, dumb slasher comedy, but it's not. It has real poignant moments to it, and Vince Vaughn has to kind of play it serious for those, and he does a pretty good job with it. As much praise as Vaughn will get, and well-deserved, I think Kathryn Newton runs the risk of going less noticed because with her, she's having to do more with less. Once the switch happens, she's not getting as much screen time as Vince Vaughn, clearly because she's the villain. She's now the killer. And just her demeanor when her body's taken over by the killer is kind of more that creepy, quiet. She doesn't have as many lines or moves to sell it like Vince Vaughn does, but she gets it down. She gets downright creepy. And I love it. Now let's get to what we're all here for. Let's get to the kills. Now, famously, Happy Death Day, despite all of its weird, fun, creative ways the tree died over and over again, including the sequel, they were still rated PG-13, so they couldn't show that much, which made sense for that movie because the second she dies, she wakes up. So you wouldn't expect, her to even be around for when it got that bloody or brutal after she died. Freaky, on the other hand, it is rated R, and it earns that R rating. These kills, they are bloody, they are visceral, they feel, and for the most part, they're practical. They feel like kills you would have seen in an 80s horror movie, which is why I feel like this was, it's not only a fun slasher movie, but it's such a great tribute to slashers in general, between all the little nods and references, which, as much as I want to list them all here, I don't want to give them away. I want everyone to see this and enjoy it upon first viewing. But damn, things get very, very bloody. Things are shoved into places that aren't meant to be, and not a single one of these people dies in like a quiet, natural, normal manner. Not that I'm an expert on people dying. If you are with the FBI or NSA, I know you're there, and stop listening. Let's get to, there wasn't really anything I didn't like about it. There were just things that I thought maybe didn't work as well as the movie wanted it to work. Firstly, so we're at the beginning, we're setting up the main character, Millie, played by Catherine Newton, and she's sort of set up to be, the shy, awkward girl who's bullied by the popular mean girl, which sadly happens. In the beginning, she sort of reminds you of what Carrie's like at the beginning of her movie. She's a genuinely, attractive person. I have to watch what I say because Jess is probably going to watch this. But I didn't necessarily buy that she would be bullied and made fun of that much. I get it from the mean girls, but I didn't necessarily get it from all the guys who were like, oh, like one of them says, oh, I'd have to put a bag over her head. And I'm like, dude, like, you'd be so lucky. You probably could have shaved off like the last 10 minutes. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. You could have just cut the last, maybe just 5 to 10 minutes, just end it at the point that it feels like the movie's over, because those last few minutes, while they're fun, they don't really add to anything. They don't really... The movie was kind of perfect and tight as is when we got to the point that we thought it was over, and it lingers a little bit longer than it should be. So overall, I had a lot of fun with it. It's the type of movie that it's fun to watch with a group of people, which I know is very tough to do right now. I would hope when it comes to video on demand, it's one that, I'd love to do this one for one of the weekly Halloween year-round watch parties once it's available on a major streaming platform. I'd love to watch it with all you guys on Twitter. Shout out to my regulars who are on there like every week. You guys are the best. I love you all. And Halloween year-round would not be what it is without all of you. All right, so let's wrap up this weird, rambling review, whatever you want to call it, so I can get back to putting on this mask and stalking teenagers at Camp Crystal Lake. Solid movie, awesome kills, great performances, a lot of fun, minor nitpicky issues, but not big enough issues that a common horror audience wouldn't enjoy it. And if you're a horror fan, you'll enjoy it even more just because of all the fun little references. So, check out Freaky. It's in theaters now. Like I said, only go see it if you can do it safely. If not, it is coming to video on demand in a few weeks. I think the first week of December. This is the part where I would tell you to subscribe and hit the notifications button. I would talk about how, it really helps out the channel if you do that. But because this is a horror channel, I can just creepily stare at you with this mask while brandishing this knife and telling you to do it or else. So, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can learn anytime we post a new video, which is going to be weekly on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, some weekend day going forward. That's the goal. So, I will see you all again next week, where we will be discussing something related to horror. Until then, stay scared, and remember, every day is Halloween.